Geeks. This is Zed Tech on Zed 101.9 FM with the one and only Delpy. Get ready to tickle your funny bone and charge up your brain cells every Wednesday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Zed Tech on the 101.9 FM hosted by Delpy from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Zed Tech on the 101.9 FM hosted by Delpy from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Zed Tech on the 101.9 FM hosted by Delpy from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Zed Tech on the 101.9 FM hosted by Delpy from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. On your lifestyle, leisure and the business radio.
It's Wednesday. It's time for some Zed technology, and today is going to be an insightful one. We have interesting conversations. We're going to have interesting things to talk about, but for some reason, I want to start the show with a brief and quick interview. Before that, please, if you're not following us on any social media platform, please do so by following us at ZFMGH for Instagram, Facebook, and X, and Z Multimedia for TikTok and YouTube. Our website is www.zmultimedia.com, and please go to that website. Our feed is currently live there. For those of you who do not have the analog radio sets, you could listen to us live there as well too. And make sure to check out some articles on your way there. You're going to enjoy it. Today, I'm privileged to be joined in the studio with a big man, a celebrity who is organizing a show pretty soon. He goes by the name Ojo, a popular comedian. Big man, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Quick one, tell us about the show.
Yeah, so TED Talks is a comedy show. The first one I did, it was a comedy special. So a comedy special is like a comedian's album, like a musician. Yeah. So this one is not a special, but it's an experience, and we are mimicking TEDx.
Oh, so that's why it's called TED.
Yeah, TED Talks. So because of copyright, so TED Talk means talk your mind. In the slang term, talk your SH, whatever it is. So the comedians will be performing with PowerPoint slides. They'll perform with PowerPoint slides. Okay. So every comedian on bill will be performing with PowerPoint slides.
Yeah, I think I saw the one you were doing the Woba, So when are the launch that up?
Oh, bro, I'm just waiting for the right time. But Woba is not the name. The correct name is there, but it's because of the comedy. That's why I changed the name to Woba.
Yeah. But they will launch that.
Yeah. I will.
You will.
I will. If you have somebody to help me, please.
I'll look for them. Yeah. So when is this happening? When's the program happening?
On the 18th of April, at College of Physicians and Surgeons, Ridge Runabout, opposite the former President Rawlings house. Yeah, that's what's happening. Then 7 p.m.
18th of April is a Friday or Thursday?
No, it's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So weekend beat, and you just go.
Yeah.
The stress the day country is too much.
So please come.
Yeah. Come. Guys, please, and if they want a ticket, the tickets.
Yeah, so if you want a ticket, you can dial *714 *129 hash.
*714 *129 hash.
Yeah, and the comedians on bill, Clemento Suarez will be hosting. General Tatia will be there. I will be performing.
Nice.
Kojo PJ, Papayao, and Dr. Sass.
Yeah. That's beautiful. We're going to see a lot of, but I want to know, how did last year was the first one?
Yeah, it was the first one for TED Talks.
What was the experience like?
It was good.
For your first special? That's your first special?
No, that was my second special.
Your second special?
Yeah. My first special was titled Timid and Crazy.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, Timid and Crazy.
This was my second special, and it was wild. Yeah. Trying something new with, like, in the comedy system.
Yeah, it's like everybody goes and they are talking. Yeah. This time around, it's like a presentation.
And then my guys pulled out for me. It was really nice. Wow. And you did well. I called you with the promo and you helped me with it.
I couldn't show up because I hope you don't kidnap.
Yeah. By this time I'm kidnapping people. So by hook or crook you have to be there.
Okay. So 18th of February. April.
April. Yeah.
Accra College of Physicians
and Surgeons.
Time is 7:00 p.m.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Is there anything else you want to let anybody know in case they want to find out more on socials? your username.
I just want people to be there. Please don't miss it. Don't miss this. It's a good experience, and I want you guys to be there to experience this.
Yeah.
So one of the performers is here, Bernard the Magician.
Yeah.
So please don't miss TED Talks.
It's a part of Superstars.
Oh yeah. Have you ever seen a magician performing with PowerPoint slides? Never.
No, this
Only
is
on
going to be
TED Talks.
I'll see. I have to be there.
You have
I
to.
will come. If Bernard did it, I will come.
Yeah. Or else.
Okay, your social media handles, bro.
On Instagram is Ojo _ Ojo is spelled OHJOO and _ Twitter to the same. TikTok to the same.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for passing.
Thanks for having me,
guys. I'd really appreciate it if all of you could take the time and go get release all of it. Release the stress, because there's a lot of stress in the country these days. So on the 18th of April, please take time out, go watch this comedy special, and I promise you, I've seen excerpts of the previous one and it was mind blowing. You are going to enjoy this, so don't waste any time. Dial the short code or go to your social media platform and you'd see everything there. The platform is Ojo, OHJOO _ and you should find him. To remind you that it's still the Zed Tech Show, and I am Delpy hosting you through the entire program till the next hour. I'm joined here in the studio by Mr. Clinton Anane, and today's segment is an inspiring one because we have our own here in Ghana being able to build some sort of robot, right? That is purely controlled by AI, if I'm not wrong, but we'll get more into the conversation. He is a robotics engineer and the CEO of 3Farmit. I hope I'm mentioning it correctly. Mr. Clinton, thanks for joining us in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
I'm confused. Right? I have so many questions.
Please, yeah.
What's inspired this whole idea? And for those who are listening, let's start with you as an individual per se. Who is Clinton Anane, and why are you pushing this initiative?
Yeah, of course. Good afternoon to you, your dear listeners. I'm Clinton. I'm the co-founder and chief executive officer of 3Farmit Robotics. Our main aim at 3Farmit is to bring automation into farming. Now, if anyone has done farming before, the one thing that they would all tell you is that getting labor to till the land is very difficult, and we're able to find them, it's expensive. And tractors are out of the hand for 90% of farmers because they're expensive. And so about 4 years ago, my co-founder and I set out to figure out if there was a means to address this crippling labor crisis in such a way that it achieves crop production at scale. We did not entirely know whether or not we're going to be successful. It was just a question of, is it possible? And we wanted to find the answers.
Right.
And so we kind of embarked on a research and development journey to be able to see if this was possible.
And how did it go?
It was hard. It was insanely hard on all levels, technically, finance-wise, and just getting the right data from the industry to be able to influence the research and development process to build something that would truly be tailored towards the industry's needs. So
let's talk about the robot.
Yes.
What does it do?
So the robot is called FAMA, F-A-M-A, which stands for Field Automation Machinery for Agriculture. And it basically embodies the reason why we started the company in the first place, to be able to bring automation into agriculture.
Okay.
What we have is a four-wheel drive, four-wheel steering robot.
Yes, I've seen the video.
Yes, it looks like a vehicle.
Yes.
But it's not a vehicle. It's also not a tractor.
Okay.
And what it's able to do is it's a multi-purpose platform, which means that we can use it for multiple things.
Okay.
And currently what we are going to market with is it can plant seeds. So think corn and soybeans. It can apply fertilizer as well, so pellets and spraying. And it can weed farms as well. And these three aspects are key to ensuring that we can truly bring a machinery that would address some of the key problems that we have in the industry, and to be able to make sure that we have a healthy replacement for the labor that we are unable to scale right now in the farming industry.
So then we're coming to my question, which talks about opportunities. Like, what kind of opportunities does this type of agricultural technology create for youth employment? I'm a youth, so I'll just mostly focus on the youth in this conversation entirely.
Of course. So the beautiful thing about robotics is, first off, it's exciting. Second of all, it's very, very difficult. And thirdly, if you're able to pull through, it's the type of thing that would set you off for life. And so the opportunities are enormous in the sense that for us, for example, our robots, to be able to operate them, you require training. And these are all avenues for providing training support for especially us young people to be able to acquire some of these high-skill jobs and inadvertently high-paying jobs as well. And other agri-businesses that can be built on top of the technology that we've made available would be very much successful. Because the two things that we've been able to address with the farmer robot are, the first one is labor. We've been able to provide a labor source that would truly make it possible for us to scale farming without having to worry about, is Kwame going to be available on Saturday to plant for me? Where Kwame would have to go to a funeral, and when he's back in Accra, he's doing this and he's not able to show up and plant for you. And so that's the labor side. And the second side is precision. And precision is very, very important. Now, on a typical farm, nutrient density is sparse. It's not central. It's not something that's uniform.
Yeah.
And so you want to be able to say, okay, a farm like this does not have that much nutrients.
Right.
And so the way you plant really matters. You want to space out the crops, right, to make sure that there isn't competition for very small nutrients on the field. And our robot is able to precisely handle that in ways that manual labor cannot address them. And so addressing these two key aspects would make it possible for anyone at all to build agribusiness solutions on top of our technology. It could be in consulting, it could be in produce supply, because again, once you are able to address these two key problems, it makes it possible for you to achieve agriculture at scale.
I'm curious. I want us to go back to the robots.
Yeah.
How long was this? How long has this been in motion?
Oh man.
And how long did it take you before you finally? I know there was like prototypes, beta
Lots
testing,
of them.
and
Yeah.
What was the clicking point?
So we started in 2021.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
4 years.
Yeah,
Or
4
5
years ago.
years actually.
Yeah, 4 years and 4 months. When we started, we thought it was going to take 6 months, in and out. Like seriously, we thought it was going to take 6 months. But we came from a software engineering background, which means we were coding, building apps. We had never done anything in the physical world, welding, cutting metal,
None of your
bolting,
skill. No.
none of that. And so we just did our initial projections. This should take a month or two, that. So by the 6th month, we'll be done. That's what we thought. We're wrong. We had to go through several iterations of the prototype, because the thing about research and development is you don't start out having all the answers at once.
Yes.
You start with some hypothesis about what the industry wants, and then you build it, you test it, you get feedback, and then you feed that back into the loop to keep iterating until you have something. And so we went through several prototypes, but the moments where we felt we had truly built something that could address the problem at hand was we were on the field. I think we're on a 6th prototype. We're on a field with a farmer, and he came by and he was like, we don't do planting like this. And so, you see, when you are designing, right, you are in this space where you are making all sorts of assumptions about what would work, what wouldn't work. And so that's what we did. We built something, we're testing, and then he came by and he pointed, was like, this doesn't work. We don't do it that way. Maybe it works in the West, but we don't do it that way in Ghana. And so we were shattered, because it's like, what do you mean? This is like something you're supposed to be doing, And so we sat with him for nearly 2 hours. He talked about his farming journey, and then how they do it. And it turns out that we had missed one key component in making sure that we can build something that can handle the uneven nature of our farms. And so we took that feedback, went back to the workshop, made some slight changes, and then we came back. And the week after, and this is something that we really embodied at 3 Farmates, speed of iteration. And so that's something that you don't really get when you're doing hardware, right? To go from having prototype 1 today, testing it on the field, getting feedback, come back to the workshop, and then prototype 2 is out in less than a week. And so we're able to pull that off. We're back on the field, we tested it. We thought we had the results that we needed, but the real validation came from when the farmer came and said, yeah, you guys have nailed it. And so he did all his measurements, the depths, the spacing, the seeds going into the hole. And I remember that day I ate fufu very well. I ate a lot of fufu because, we hadn't quite fully succeeded, but that last validation step required to make us feel like this is something that would go into the market was heavy. We ate fufu.
Was Bernard part of the
yeah. He was in the background ensuring that we can. We had all the.
I can imagine the frustration. I mean, looking at the fact that if you have something in mind that you are trying, you're like on the right track, and somebody just comes like, what you're doing is complete nonsense. Yeah,
man, it's hard. It's hard.
I can imagine how you felt,
especially when you feel like you know it all. And then they come in and give you the information. It's like everything
just
out the window.
It could be frustrating.
Yeah.
I want to know how many of these robots do we have now?
The production robots, we have one currently, but we've just set up a new factory at Adenta, where we are going to be able to make up to 3 robots every month. And so that would give us the capacity to be able to serve the first half of the country for now. And then we'll do medium to large scale production from there onwards. We are right now constrained by cash. And so if you want to write us a check, we'll take it. We'll take it. Yeah.
I can understand. This might be a sensitive question, but so just don't give me any values, right? But expenses. How expensive can this be? Is it for the average Ghanaian farmer? Is it for that entrepreneur, that businessman with 100 acres of land to want to buy, to want to go into farming, or the regular farmer can afford it?
I'd want to say yes, 100%, but I'd say yes, 50%. The reason is, one of the key requirements that we had during the research and development process was that we had to build something that the average farmer in Ghana could afford.
Yeah.
And we tried as much as possible to achieve that. But the reality is, a lot of the things that we needed, there weren't enough farmers, startups like ours in Ghana doing similar things where we could source from.
Right.
And so we had to import some of the things. We ended up being insanely cheap when you compare the robots to in the same class to others in different regions. So think of Asia, Europe, North America. We are the cheapest, but we still feel we can be much cheaper.
Ooh,
and so just to be able to get the business out there, because if I'm being honest, we do have pressure from our investors to become a business, generate revenue, things like that. And so we are kind of not able to serve below 5 acres right now.
Oh, okay.
And so we're kind of in between medium and large scale crop production.
Yeah.
But what we are working on for clustering, right? So you go into a community, you cluster so many smallholder farmers, and then you make them one umbrella. So you make servicing much possible. So it reduces the logistics burden when you are servicing in a community. So that's a model that we are currently looking to explore, just so we can make this technology available to smaller farmers. Because the reality is they make up 90% of our farming sector. If we build this and we exclude them, it's pointless.
Yeah.
So
Sort of.
Yeah.
So I heard you mention other regions. Does that mean this is the first in Africa or in Ghana?
The first to go to markets and become a business, yes. But the first of its kind, not necessarily. There have been others in the past that have tried, but building the technical part is one thing, right? Turning it into a business and succeeding is a completely different thing. And so at this time, I'd like to really brag. I'm sure it will make my investors happy and say that, we are the first to do this and all that. But the reality is there have been multiple versions. But to get to that stage where you are commercial and you can now serve customers, we are currently the only ones. Yeah.
Wow. Crops. You mentioned crops.
Yes.
Are they specific to a specific? Sorry, I don't know how to put that question properly.
I think I get the question.
Are they for a specific type of crop?
Yes.
If somebody wants to buy them, like, am I going to be able to plant seeds of just maize, just pepper, or you can do a variety?
Yes. So Farmer is a multi-purpose platform, which means that we can use it to do planting, weeding, spraying, like I said. And what we are building for right now are mostly green crops. So think corn, soybeans. And we're eventually getting into vegetables by second and third quarter of the year. Vegetables are much, much harder because it's not a simple process because like there's planting itself, there's transplanting itself. We have ongoing R&D for that. But right now it's for green crops. Vegetables will come up next.
So it's not just planting.
Yes.
It can do more than just planting.
That's correct.
Yeah,
so planting is because once you plant, you have to fertilize.
So to do that too.
They will do that as well. And after you fertilize, after 2 or 3 weeks, if you're doing corn, for example, wheat would grow and you have to take out those weeds as well. And that would happen 2 or 3 times during the life cycle of the crop. And so just having that pipeline to go from planting all the way to possibly harvesting is what we are focused on right now.
This is mind blowing. I was so. This comes a more sensitive question here.
Okay.
I was on Twitter.
Okay.
I saw the video.
Oh, great.
I think I saw Kali J reposted it.
Nice.
And then I saw a comment from someone saying that they were like,
Twitter is wild.
Yeah, no. So I think it was
Twitter is wild.
It was more of this coming to replace the lazy people they have on the farms. Sorry. And so it just brought out the question: are we creating more jobs, or we're coming to thief somebody's job?
So, let me give you some perspective, right?
Yeah.
If you go to the rural areas where farming actually happens,
yeah,
a lot of the young people who typically would work on the farms, they are now migrating to urban areas.
Okay.
And so you have this huge exodus from, communities or farming communities to places like Accra, Kumasi, where a lot of the young people feel like, if I'm riding a bicycle, a motorcycle, for example, I can do delivery, I can carry people around,
Right.
and that is more lucrative than the working on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are having a labor crisis right now in the industry, and if we are unable to address that, it means that our food security will continue to be threatened.
Yes.
And we need to address that right now.
Exactly.
And with that perspective, it doesn't mean there aren't people who are still in the industry or who are still in the communities and working, right? There are people. But the reality is that we have to find ways and means to address some of these problems by making sure that we can still grow food.
Right.
But these people can now work high-skill, high-paying jobs. They don't have to be out in the sun, bending with their waist, being heads and things like that. But with these robots, you need training to be able to operate them. You need training to be able to maintain them, among other things. And these are the kind of high-skill, high-paying jobs that we are looking to be able to bring. And the transition from working an old job to a new job is usually where the contention comes in. Because someone has an old job and feels like some new technologies coming, they might lose their job, and they are unable to tell if they are going to be transitioned. And so I think those are all avenues that I believe different entrepreneurs could come in and help us.
So it's on the good side.
It's on the good side.
It's on the very good side. Like
Yes.
from what you're saying, it just means that they shouldn't be scared.
Exactly.
Because there's also training too as well for people.
Exactly.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the brain.
Okay.
Let's talk about the brain because that's what I'm interested in. As somebody who is into tech stuff, artificial intelligence specifically, is it controlled by AI?
Yes, AI is in the piece to make sure that it understands what a farm is. Now, robots in the same class as our robots in other regions, they mostly rely on GPS to function. And GPS is in your phone. Use it for Google Maps, for Bolt, Uber, Yango. It helps you understand where you are and where you are going to.
Right.
And so the way to think about it, when you are going from point A to point B, and you use Google Maps, it draws a line to show you where you are.
Exactly. The blue line,
Yeah, so robots typically would use such technology to know where they are and to keep moving. The problem with GPS is that if you go to rural areas where we do farming, the signal is not strong enough to rely on it to perform self-driving.
Right.
And so our thinking was that we had to build a robot that can control itself without GPS. And to do that, you'd need it. Yeah, it was hard.
I can't think about it, to be honest.
It was hard. And to do that, you need it to be able to understand what a farm is and kind of think and operate and make decisions like the way a human would. And so think of yourself driving a tractor, right? Once you get into tractor and you are planting, for example, you know where to start. Right. You know where to go to and where not to go to. You know that that's a tree or that's a rock. You shouldn't go into it. You have to go around it, right? And so we're able to use the AI system to let it to understand what a farm is, what a tree is, right? The different things that would make your life very difficult on a farm. We let it understand, and so it's able to chart different paths to go from start of farm to end of farm, plant successfully without running into any problems.
So that's what brings the autonomous behavior.
Exactly.
Why do you say farmer is not? Why do you want to call farmer a platform?
It has to be called a platform because we can use it for multiple things.
Okay.
And who knows? We might even use farmer as a farm taxi because you can sit on it and it would move you from point A to point B. Yes, we've done it before. I mean, you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to. Right?
Yeah, right. But yeah, it's possible. So we have to call it a platform to communicate the fact that it can be used for multiple things, and other solutions can be built on top of it. Yeah.
Great. So if somebody wants to order one right now, is there available?
We're taking pre-bookings for this season and the next season, which means that we are not selling the robots right now. We are hoping to close our pre-seed round right now, and so if there are investors listening to this, please get in touch. We need cash. And once we close that, we're able to build as many robots as possible to deploy in different regions. So in the north, for example, where there's a lot of cereal production, we're going to be focusing so much on putting robots in those regions. And down south as well for vegetables, we're doing same to make sure that we can truly be available when they need it. We will get to making the robots available for sale. And so if you have your own farm, for example, you'll be able to buy one and operate it on your farm. And we need to get to that point where you don't need to be technical to know how to use it. So long as you can push a bunch of buttons on your phone, you should be good to go.
Okay, so the control can be done through an app or something on the phone.
Exactly, yes.
Wow. This is just a lot to unpack. Okay, I want to come back. I want to be a bit inquisitive with your life before then.
Of course.
What made you choose Agric? Because you're a software developer, right?
Correct.
Software engineer. Sorry.
Software engineers.
When I confuse software developer with software engineer, you want to beat
It's
me.
a war. It's a war.
So software engineer.
Yes.
So you had no
Hardware
affiliation with the hardware.
Yes.
And also, were you into Agric at any point?
No.
So what made you choose to do something like this in Agric?
So I've always been one to hold a conviction that agriculture had to change. I had held that conviction from a very long time. Unfortunately, I had never been in contact with farming. It's something that I probably wished I had growing up. Because it would have given me a lot more perspective. But I held a conviction that seeing the way we farm in mostly Ghana here, the hoe and cutlass had to go away.
Yeah, it's too traditional.
Exactly, because you see some of these very old people and they have nothing else to do, and so they have to go to the farms, and they have waste problems, but they still have to go because no one else is there to handle the food. And these are the same people who are making sure that we can keep eating our fancy jollof, our fried rice, our fufu,
your fufu,
my fufu, definitely. And I just felt things had to change. And so my thinking was, coming from tech background, it had to be automation. And to automate in the physical world, you need a robot. And so the conviction started off as just, this has to change. And then as we got deeper and deeper, talking to more farmers, we realized that this was no longer about conviction. It was a crisis that we needed to address. And so from that point on, we went all in, not knowing, if we were going to be successful in the end. But the journey was just so hard and so very convincing that we felt, you know what, let's just keep going and see where this takes us. But also be very intentional about what we want to be able to develop in the end. And so that conviction is still very much alive to this day. We have something that farmers can look at and say, I see how I can scale my farming solution. So if you had 100 acres previously, but you only cultivated 10, 15, now with our robots, you can scale. Exactly.
Triple of that.
Exactly. So the question is no longer, can I get 5 to 10 people by the week's end to work on my farm? It's not how many more acres can I cover to be able to grow more food. And that conviction is still very much alive to this day.
Interesting.
Yes.
I love this. But let's look at this. What role do you think the government and private investors should play in supporting agri-tech businesses?
We could spend 2 hours talking about this.
I'm open to it. Let's get it.
We could spend 2 hours talking about this. On the government side, I think what we currently need right now, we need incentives to be able to access some of the clean energy products that we are unable to make in Ghana currently. So think batteries, electric motors, some sensors as well. It's a nightmare having to import some of these things, knowing very well that we do have folks who can innovate and make local alternatives available. And so I think there should be that intentionality to go from a solution that gives us the ability to have or import some of these products to keep using, but also make it possible for us to have solutions that can fill in some of these gaps. Because if I have to import a kilowatt of lithium-ion battery cells into Ghana for, say, $1,000, there is a pretty decent chance that a Ghanaian student or 2 Ghanaian students from chemical engineering could engineer something that we could probably use for the same wattage at probably half or probably less than half the price. And obviously this all requires research and development, and I think the government should be very intentional about these 2 aspects, making sure that we can still access some of the stuff that we are unable to make in Ghana right now, but also making sure that we have the ecosystem that will make startups like ours come up to be able to complement different aspects of it. And on the investor side, you people, you need to change your lives. I'm not going to lie, because the big problem that we had with investment during the early days was that a lot of people kept saying that we were based in Africa, and so there was a lot of risk. And it's true, right? But the reality is that if you don't make stuff, there won't be stuff. And to make stuff, you need capital. And right now we have investors who are flocking into our DMs, most of whom turned us down a couple of years ago. And I don't think it should be so. The whole point of investing is to be able to take risks. And if you play the numbers game and you take $100,000 investment and spread it across 5 to 10 startups, if 9 out of the 10 startups fail and one succeeds, you're able to recoup all your investment losses that you made with all the 9 startups with that one startup that succeeds. And so we should be able to, approach the risk and understand that this is a market that is still developing,
Yeah.
and so we should be able to tolerate as much risk as possible, just to make sure that we can have solutions. Because there are tons and tons of problems that we have that are all available and ready for disruption, ready for innovations to come in and address them as well. And so, yeah, those are the 2 things that I think we need to focus on right now.
The investors,
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, we could spend 2 hours talking about it, because some of the things that we've had to go through.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that we're finally here.
You're finally here.
Yeah, but you investors, change your lives. Change your lives, please. Yeah.
I should have started with this.
Yeah.
Thread Farm It.
Correct.
What is the inspiration behind that name? I know farm has to do with agric, but maybe there's something more to it.
So 3 was our lucky number during the very early days. Because a lot of the things that we wanted to do, we kept getting them in pairs of 3. And so that became the prefix. The farm8 comes from farm automates. So think of farm automation, farm8. And so our lucky number, giving us all the good luck that we need, and then giving us the ability to keep automating farms. So 3 farm8s. That's the name.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
One thing I know is that our old people who are on the farms, who believe in traditional farming, all they know is, and I'm doing this because my parents are very clear example.
Yeah.
When they see anything technological, they see it as something that is bad.
That's true.
They mostly just end up skewing towards preventing from using it because it could be 666. It could bring cancer. It can have all these weird implications that they make up with their mind. What is the education on this like for people like that to be able to adopt it and accept it in the long run? Because I feel like if we'll be able to use it on a large scale, like we'll be able to let people adopt it. Because from where I sit, right, let's just put the farming thing aside, to be able to convince people to do certain things with their smartphone, the last time somebody commented something on my video like this, and I use automations, so it automatically sends them a DM. The person was like, they're not going to click on the thing. What if they click on it and then it hacks them? What if they click on it?
That's true.
Mentality in our side of the world is something that is very hard to convince.
That's true.
Yeah, it's hard to change.
Yes.
What is the process like for something like this, especially to the people on the farms?
Of course. And this is something that we've seen several times with some of the farmers. And so we tell them that, like, when we're doing our preliminary research, we'll tell them that we are building the robots to automate the farms, break down the technical details for them. And then they'll be like, oh, okay. And that's it. They wouldn't engage. They just,
they're not interested.
Exactly.
They seem distant.
Exactly. And so we realized that as much as we felt convinced we had built something that would change the industry forever, we had to make this product not look like a robot. And that is something that I think we've achieved partially right now. Because when farmers look at our product, the first thing that they see is this thing can help me not require human beings, and it can help me plant faster.
Right.
And it depends on how you sell the technology to them at the end of the day, and breaking down the technical details in such a way that they don't have to know what AI is, they don't have to know what autonomous robots are, to be able to embrace the technology. And it boils down to training. It boils down to, and it's difficult. I'm not gonna lie. Because it boils down to being able to create that connection between this is something that could change your life, and this is how you did it previously. This is how you are used to it, and that connection is very difficult to pull off. But I think essentially it boils down to training and just creating awareness.
I think awareness is like
and that's and that's something that we are starting to really double down on, making sure that we create contents to not make this look like some alien technology.
Yeah.
Because we've had people tell us that, robots, they will not get it until, many, many years after, because they have seen it on TikTok and it's in China, it's here and there. And so when we put it in front of them and they're like, okay, did we get it from China? I'm like, no, we made it here.
Oh, I was going to ask that question,
Exactly.
to be honest.
So
did we make everything here from scratch?
We did, yes.
Including parts?
Over 75% of robot is currently made in Ghana. Yes, over 75% of it. And that's why we feel confident that our factory would give us the leverage to scale production without, not many bottlenecks. 75%. That's correct, yes. The remaining 15% has to do with things like sensors, batteries. Obviously. Unfortunately, the electrical and computer engineers at K University, they don't want to come and found companies to help us, so they don't. So we have to import.
Wait, calm down.
We have to import.
What has K University done in this conversation?
K University is my alma mater, and
okay.
obviously, we are obviously a university with very smart people.
Yeah,
I think the smartest in West Africa. In fact, the continent in general.
Is anybody from Lagos? Is anybody from Lagos here? There's nobody from Lagos here.
Oh, please. So yeah, I feel we have the know-how to. We just don't have the will and the intent. Yeah. And so obviously there are a lot more problems, but it's doable. It's doable. So those things we currently have to import.
So Mike, final question before we wrap the show up is for somebody who is very young, right, and wants to go into specifically agri-tech, like you are. If you have any advice for them, based on your experience, what you've been through, the hurdles you've had to jump, what would you tell them?
I know it sounds like generic advice, but you're only limited by yourself. And you wouldn't truly understand the real value of that advice until you are deep in the fields yourself. And so I would say that you're only limited by yourself. We have a lot more problems that can be opportunities to innovate in and address some of these problems. And to truly understand that technology is not going to slow down, even if we feel like it's not something that would reach us when it's imminent, when it's trending. You have to make sure that you adopt and adapt accordingly, because someone else using technology elsewhere would be able to outdo you. Think of the age of the tractors. There was no way farming in Africa could compete with other regions that had tractors. And so now I truly believe we are entering a new revolution where it's going to be robots doing farming. And these are the type of solutions that will truly address some of the key problems that we have in the industry. And it wouldn't be the case for us if we had given up, if we had said, 1,001 reasons why we should not get involved in some of these endeavors because of, X, Y, Z. Obviously, the problems are real, but I just think you should be able to understand that it wouldn't be easy and just maintain your conviction. The conviction is the most important thing, and to understand that if we don't make stuff, there won't be stuff.
If I can remember, there's supposed to be a launch, or there was a launch.
There's supposed to be a launch on the 4th of April.
4th of April.
Yes.
Where and how can one, if maybe somebody wants to join, someone wants to see how it works, what's the schedule like? Yeah, so the launch is going to be here in Accra. If you want more details, go to the website 3farmate.com, so 3farmate.com. And we're bringing together folks from government, industry, and academia to be able to witness the launch, and most importantly, our farmers. We have to let them see in person what this technology is like, how it works. If they have any answers, they ask, and then questions they ask, and then we give them all the answers they need. And so this launch is very crucial for us, and to us, it's really the first step in being able to create the awareness that technology like this exists, and it's a net positive for us to be able to go from 0 to 1. 0 to 10, 0 to 100 even in the agricultural industry. Yeah. So. The launch is coming up. It's nice. My last question though would be, do you have people reached out to want to purchase, or do you have orders coming in? Yes, we had 2 guys reach out yesterday asking about purchasing. Wow. One asked about renting because he does aggregation businesses. Okay. So he would get tractors and then he put them all on one platform. When farmers need them, they call him and he would recommend. And so the next thing that we are doubling on right now is distribution, to be able to work with partners such as that guy,
So when you are farming in a community and you want planting services, you call your aggregator, he recommends us, we show up, we offer the service, you pay us per acre. That's going to be the business model. And then everyone goes home happy at the end of the day.
Wow. I'm blown away. I'm blown away. So what I can, after everything, the thing I think people should not miss is the fact that you're doing more than 5 acres for now.
Yes.
In the near
5
future,
acres,
minimum 5 acres.
Yes.
In the near future, you might consider us.
Exactly.
Those of us with 10 square meters.
Yes.
Anyway, so
we might have smaller robots because this is big. It does 4 rows at a time.
I mean, for that, I don't think the video is doing more justice to it. It doesn't look. I'm pretty sure it's way bigger.
We need to work on our content.
In the video.
We need to be my content guys here. So.
But yeah, I think I honestly buy into the fact that it's a great initiative. We're not seeing a lot of these here in our side of the world. You know, we're mostly slow with things. I'm sorry to say, but
it's true.
We do not adapt quickly.
True.
I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
You know, because even up to now, smartphones are still people are still learning how to use smartphones and use
that's
it
the
properly,
reality. Yeah.
You know, and if you have to use this particular product, you need to know how to use a smartphone for some reason. You know.
Yeah.
So it's a great initiative, and I
Thank
hope
you.
more will come out of this.
For sure.
I'm pretty sure this is probably not going to be the only agricultural platform. I almost said instrument.
Most likely, yes.
Agricultural platform that would come out of 3 Farm Mates. I'm pretty sure there are other modules that would come up. There are other things that are coming. I'm hoping to see more stuff like that. So if you have any final words, any last statements, any things people should know,
of course,
your handles, the website again,
yes,
and anything to add.
Yeah. So I think my last message would go to farmers or anyone thinking of getting into farming. We've addressed labor and precision issues.
Right.
Come out, cultivate the lands, and let us address our food security needs. It's now or never. We can't keep importing. Yesterday, I bought tomatoes. The price was up by 2x. I couldn't make my stew. And so we've addressed these key issues. Come cultivate the lands and let us feed ourselves now.
I even heard that they say they have banned tomato importation from
Burkina Faso. Yes. And so we've addressed these 2 key issues. Now the only question is how many acres are you going to cultivate?
Right.
And so come let us get that done. We're here for especially this market. And if you want to reach us, our website is 3farmate.com. That's 3farmate.com. We are available on all social media platforms. 3Farmate Robotics. Find us, connect with us. We have a WhatsApp number on the website as well. Send us a message. Any question you have, even if you think it's dumb, please send it. We would answer you right away. We really have to work together to make sure that we can feed ourselves. Yeah.
Beautiful. So, just like he said, because I'm part. I'm part. Whether they like it or yes, I'm part. On the 4th of April, they are having an event, and it would be nice for you guys to pass through. They don't have to buy any tickets.
Oh, no.
So it's free. What's the location again?
Adenta Aviation.
Adenta Aviation.
Yes.
Does that mean it's closer to where you're producing it, or is the same place?
Well, the factory is about an hour drive away from the location.
Cool. So Adenta Aviation is the location.
And it's going to be on a farm.
It's going to be on a farm.
Yes.
That'll be a nice experience.
Yes.
Yes. So the 4th of April. Time again, sorry.
9 a.m.
Saturday.
Exactly. April 4th.
Saturday, April 4th. Please pass by the Adenta Aviation location and then explore or experience what they have to offer. This has been a conversation with 3 Farm Mates. They're bringing out an autonomous robot that can do so much in the farming industry. If you have over 5 acres of land, first give it to me. And then, we'll go and see them and then we'll buy some of the robots for the land. Because some of us are very busy. We can't be moving up and down. But that aside, check out their website. Make sure you check out every other information. If you need any of the products, they can help you produce. Sorry, one last question. Let me ask you. I forgot.
Of course.
So if what is it like with producing the machines, right? How many machines can you produce in a day or in a week? How is the production line like?
So our factory is very small right now. We can do up to 3 robots every month. Yes. 3. And so that's why we are fundraising to be able to build a bigger factory to scale rapidly. So again, if investors are listening, please, even if it's 2 CDs, we'll take. Even if it's 2 CDs, we'll take. But we are raising a pre-seed round to be able to scale production.
Can you give a range how much it costs to build one? If it's not possible, you can skip that.
It's going to be under $15,000.
Under $15,000 for
Yes,
one.
For one, it's going to be under $15,000. We think the price can drop by up to half. But it all depends on if we're able to get the cash to figure out how we do the manufacturing, and if we can find alternatives to some of the things that we need that we don't have in Ghana and have to import. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This has been the conversation with 3 Farmates. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to check them out on their platforms. 3 Farmates. You could if you don't remember the website, just type 3 Farmates in Google. You see it. The thing is 3 and then farm and then eat. 3 FARMATE. I'm Delpy. I've been your host for this show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. This has been the Zed Tech Show. The show will have the replay of the session live on Facebook, so you can check it out in case you missed anything or you joined late. And also make sure to check out our website, www.zmultimedia.com. There will be an article coming on that too as well. But hey, it's been Wednesday. My time is up. Up next is DJ Sticks. Is he a DJ? He's not a DJ yet, but I know he'll become a DJ. Sticks is up next with Highway 1019. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, 3 Farmates, for coming to share this wonderful product. And like I always say, we will talk more, Charlie.